Good morning, YouTube. Truth of the People here, and you guys are gonna have to forgive me. My voice is kind of gone. I don't know why. But anyways, so I decided to make a video after I did that two-part video response to WTF Girl 007 because one of her points really did catch me as something that theists often have a very, very gross misconception of. And they're the common ones, like, oh, we atheists are immoral because we don't get our morality from God. I think I addressed that one earlier. Um, the fact that atheists are all just these cold, remote, aloof white men is obviously one that I don't need to touch because that's just a biased stereotype. But there is one that did strike me because I've heard this more than once. And it's the fact that she seems to think that we atheists are all these miserable people. Like, if we don't have God, then we don't have any sense of joy in our lives. So many people seem to be under that misconception that we atheists are all just these poor, sad folk without God in our lives, or at least without a creator in our lives. And this isn't even really an argument. This is more of just a statement that theists and creationists often love to repeat just to try and persuade people to join their side. And quite frankly, it's one of their more sad arguments, and that's saying something. But it's always been a mystery to me, first of all, why they like to repeat this so much, because they have absolutely no evidence to support this notion. And what WTF Girl is no exception. She doesn't provide any evidence to support her statement that, oh, all these atheists are just these miserable people and they can't love. So, no evidence to back it up, and not to mention, even if she did find evidence of some sort, some statistic that proved that over 50% of atheists were dissatisfied with their lives, well, what the hell does that prove? But I think I'll just throw the theists a bone here and say, okay, I'll grant you that. Let's say you found a statistic that showed that atheists as a whole were miserable people. What then? What are you going to do with that now? Are you going to say that join our side because you'll be a little less miserable than if you weren't on our side? That to me is a fairly poor way to try and get someone to change their whole view on things like this, especially like religion, because I believe that if you want someone to join your religion, or if you want someone to be skeptical, you want someone to view the facts with an objective mindset. And it should not be based on anything resembling emotion. So, I don't know, if I was a theist, I wouldn't want people to join my religion just because it made them feel all warm and fuzzy inside. I'd want them to join my religion because they truly felt that there was indeed this particular God. Believing in something because it makes you happier rather than believing in something else or not believing in that thing is absolutely meaningless in an academic context because it doesn't show that either option is better supported, nor does it show that either option is true. So the question becomes why anyone would try and use this sort of non-argument to convince people when it obviously doesn't convince anyone who has the ability to keep an objective mind. And the only conclusion, the only logical conclusion that I can reach is that it's obviously not geared towards people who can keep an objective mind, rather those who generally like to think with emotion and who generally do not have the ability to keep an objective mind. So in other words, I would have to conclude then that it's generally geared towards people who really have a very weak mind. There's no other kind way to say it other than that. Generally, it does take a lot more effort to keep an objective mindset and to view things objectively than it does to view things with an emotional lens and with a biased lens. So, it is my personal opinion, and I've shown you guys why, that whenever a theist tries to use this type of non-argument, whenever they say things like atheists are all just these miserable people, they're attempting to appeal to the masses of either religious people who are already convinced of this bullshit, or they're trying to convince other weak-minded people that atheism is just this state of misery and that they should join the other side because it makes us all feel like sunshine and rainbows. I'll probably get a lot of thumbs down for this because what I'm saying is pretty controversial, and that's okay. But I truly believe that whenever theists say things like this, when they say that atheists are all just these miserable people, not only do I accuse them of making sweeping statements, I accuse them of trying to manipulate weak-minded people. And that, to me, is pretty damn despicable. Especially considering how people who are weak-minded aren't necessarily weak-minded by choice. Maybe there are people with mental disabilities. Maybe there are children who don't know better. Like, this is just downright dishonesty, people. I guess I'll finish off by saying that I'm an atheist and I can still enjoy my life without God. I feel a sense of purpose. I feel a sense of love. I feel a sense of compassion without God telling me to do these things or giving me these things because I feel that these things are innate and we make them for ourselves. So, despite the fact that I might not appear to be the happiest camper on YouTube, don't get me wrong, I definitely enjoy my life, especially for its small pleasures. I enjoy it for my family, I enjoy it for my friends, I enjoy it for making videos, and I definitely enjoy life for me. So, thanks for watching, guys, and may the truth always be heard. Peace out.